Hey y'all, my name is Paige and welcome to my channel. I am going to do a tutorial for the first time on film. I'm a little nervous, but so let's just get right into it. So today I want to start with the eyes because I want to do a winged liner, and also I don't want to get eyeshadow down on my foundation and my concealer and have to fix that up. It's just easier to do eye looks sometimes first. So the first thing I want to start doing is I have some tape. Just gonna peel off a little bit because I want to do a wing as well, and I want a sharp line, and I am horrible at winged eyeliner. It doesn't help that I'm using a liquid liner also today, but it's a good liner, what can I say? And as long as you keep using liquid liners and keep practicing, you'll get better at them. So if you start at first with liners of any kind and you're like, oh, I can't do this, I'm just horrible at this. No, I guarantee you most everyone is horrible when they first start something they've never tried before. I know I look silly with the bright pink tape, but it's pretty. Rule number 1, put your hair back. Alright, I want to start with my eyeshadow, but I'm going to prime my eyelids first using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead, have a little bit of that on the lid and blend it out with my fingers. This just makes it so the eyeshadow really sticks to the eyelid, so it's going to stay in place, and it also gives a good base for the eyeshadow to really pop on the lid. For today's look, I'm going to be using the Covergirl TruNaked Rose palette. I believe this is around $11 at the drugstore. It might be different depending on which drugstore, or if you get it at Target or Walmart, anywhere. I'm gonna take just a little fluffy brush. Most of my brushes are Morphe. There are some really good brushes out there for cheap, or that, you know, won't break the bank. I'm gonna take this lightest shade right here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sweep that all over the lid just to set that concealer. All right, and now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take a blending brush, and I'm gonna take that blending brush and I'm gonna go in with the third shade down, this one right here, and I'm just going to dip it into there, and I'm gonna get a closer mirror. I'm gonna go ahead and take that into the crease. I'm gonna look slightly down at my mirror and just begin to blend that in. Now, if you're new to makeup, if you're new to doing eye look, start light and build up. Don't like throw your brush into the color and then just swipe it on. Start lightly and keep blending. If you find that you aren't happy with the depth of color, go ahead, add more, which is what I'm doing right on the outer portion of the crease. All right, and I'm gonna go to the other lid now. Forgive me if I don't talk a lot. I'm a very talkative person, but this is my first video. Well, the first video I'm actually going to edit and put up on the internet. All right. Now I'm gonna go in and go on top of that with the darker matte shade in here over where I just put that other shade, just to darken it up a bit. Now this palette has a bit of fallout, if you can see on the tape. Now what I want to do is go in with the last matte shade. Yeah, it's matte in this palette, which is this darkest one right here, the second to last shade. I'm going to go in and throw it in the very outer edge of the lid. Sometimes drugstore shadows can be stubborn. That's the one thing I've noticed, like drugstore products can't get quite right sometimes is eyeshadows. Now, some companies will put out really great eyeshadows in some form or another, and then their other shadows are crap. Now, Covergirl, I really like this TruNaked line they have, but can be a little hard to blend out with the darker shades. I'm gonna go in, sweep that a little up into the crease, just make like a sort of V on the edge of the eye. Okay, I'm gonna do that on the other side. Sometimes it's just not gonna blend the way you want to, but don't get frustrated. Don't get mad at it. Just make it work and move on, which is what I'm going to do right now. You can take a flat brush to do this. I like to take my fingertips a lot and use them to pack color on my eyelids. I'm gonna take this rose gold shade, which I think is called rose gold actually. Yeah, it's this shade right here. I'm gonna take it on my ring finger. I'm gonna take it and just apply it on the lid. I'm gonna take this second shade. Am I just gonna use all the shade? I should use all the shades in this palette, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna take the second shade in the palette. I'm gonna take it on my pinky since it has the smallest area. And I'm going to put it in the very inner corner of my eye. I'm using liquid liner today with a brush tip applicator. This is the Jordana Color Envy liquid eyeliner. I believe it's around $5. I bought it online. This is an 01 Black Envy. Now, the handle on this is really long. And sometimes I take the excess off of the brush just because I don't have a very steady hand. But yeah, that's what the tip looks like if you can see it. I don't know if it's showing up. It's just a little tiny brush. I usually like felt tip liners more. All right, what I'm gonna do is carefully just line. Try to put it as close into the lash line as possible. I'm gonna flip it around and go against the bottom of that tape. That's what it's there for, to create a sharp line. I feel like that looks terrible. But I'm going with it. It's not perfect, but I'm spending way too long on one eye. Now, here comes the tricky part. I'm right-handed, and the only thing I use my left hand for is mascara on my left eye. I cannot for the life of me do eyeliner with my left hand. So, flipping the wrist. I'm sure I make really stupid faces when I'm doing eyeliner. If you see me looking behind the camera, it's because I don't really have a viewfinder or anything. I'm filming this on my phone and the mirror is behind me, so I'm seeing that I'm in a frame and everything. So, all right. You ever go in to add to something and it's like, I can make this better, and then you make it worse, so you have to make it better and then make the other side to match? Yeah, we've all been there. And that's why I rarely do winged liner. Oh, that's a lot better though. Okay, I went way too thick on the inner corner on this side. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to put mascara on and you won't be able to notice it as much, hopefully, please. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. I believe these are e.l.f. eyelash curlers. They're like $3. They get the job done. Let me know, do you close your eyes whenever you curl your lashes? Or do you leave them open? Because most of the time I leave mine open. Covergirl makes some really good mascaras. This is the Super Sizer. I believe it is usually around $6. I didn't like this mascara at first. It's a really watery formula. You gotta kind of give it some time to dry out, in my opinion. With this one anyway. We're revealing the wings now. They don't look that bad. I did pretty good. But like I said before, I do flip to my left hand to apply mascara to my left eye. It just feels, it feels more natural to me. Everybody does makeup differently. So now sometimes I add a second coat of this and then sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. I think I might add a second coat today. So be right back with that. Now that might look pretty clumpy to some people, but I like my mascara a little clumpy. Now this is the Soap and Glory One Heck of a Blot Primer. I got this at Target for around $10 or $11, I believe. Just gonna go ahead, take a little bit and apply it to where my pores are really big and to where I need my makeup to sit longer, like where it usually rubs off quickly. And of course, I've got this big old blemish here. The primer's just there to help the makeup stay in place, make sure my foundation doesn't slide around, and make it so it glides on more evenly. For foundation, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I believe this is the shade Porcelain. Yes, and this has a sunscreen of SPF 15 in it. And to apply it, I'm going to use my L'Oreal sponge. It's already dampened and everything. I believe this is around $7. Honestly, I've had a beauty blender before and they're really good. Trust me, but they're like $20 and I'm pretty cheap. This blends out beautifully. I'm gonna go ahead and do a pump and just dab that around on one portion of my face and go in, blend it. Now this stuff smells just amazing. Kind of drag it down the neck so you don't have like a harsh line if it oxidizes. I have a lot of foundations that tend to oxidize on me. This one might oxidize a little, but not bad. One thing I love about this foundation is that I think it makes my skin look really nice. Not real dewy, but not matte. It's like a satin-ish finish, but I feel like it makes my skin look really healthy. And I think it has pretty good coverage. It's more of like a medium coverage. You can still see my acne pretty well. And some spots I'll go over with a small second coat. I have a lot of acne scarring, not so much acne now. Like you can see a few minor pimples pop up. I used to have moderate to severe cystic acne, but thankfully a lot of that has gone away. My acne is coming back a little bit since I've started eating horribly again, but I'm working on getting back into my healthy lifestyle that I used to be all gung-ho about. This blender has a pretty big base to it, so you have to be careful if you're going around the eye. That's why I have a different sponge to blend out my concealer. Alright, now I'm going to go back in with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I don't know if I mentioned before the price of it, but I believe it's $6 or $7 at the drugstore, and I'm in the shade Fair because I'm super white. I'm going to go in, not with a whole lot, but I am going to spread it out over the area I need. Okay, and to blend it out, I'm going to be using another L'Oreal sponge that they came out with around the same time they came out with this one. Anyway, it is also dampened. I like that it has a flat edge, so you can either, I know a lot of people who use it to place their finger on to do it, but I usually use it because I don't know. I feel like it just blends out easier. You just go in and spread it around. Alright, now see how that just brightened up my under eye area so you don't notice my dark circles as much. I have my Coty Airspun powder. It's translucent. I know they have them in a couple of colors, I think, too. You can get this at Walmart. And it comes with this puff, but I'm not actually going to use this puff today. The thing about this powder, if you are sensitive to smells, you might not like this because it has a really strong smell. It doesn't last through the day, but like as you're putting it on your face, I can understand if some people are like, oh, that is too much. For me, I actually like the scent. I'm gonna tap a little bit of that out into the lid. Hit the same sponge, and I'm going to tap into it just to set it in place. And I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna go over some of the parts of my skin that get more oily, like the center of my forehead, on my chin. I don't have oily skin now. I used to, especially growing up when I hit puberty. Like, it was real rough, oily skin. But now it's honestly more dry, but it's a bit combination because I can get pretty oily around my nose, my T-zone area. Now, most everything creases on me. If you look underneath my eyes, I'll look up. I don't know if you can see it, but I have some pretty deep creases underneath my eye. And I'm pretty sure it's just because my eyes are like so round and like, they're not really deep set, I guess. Maybe they are. But that's why I have such dark under eye circles as well. Because it's nothing that like is wrong with my skin. It's just, that's the way it is. So sometimes like you can get no creases with some concealers, but mine are so deep, especially those that are right in there. I crease with pretty much everything. Now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite bronzers, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. You've probably seen this all over YouTube. It smells like a dream. It smells like vacation, and I'm sure everybody says that. Now this is the light one. They make one that's just the bronzer, but I have the light one because I'm so fair. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush, kind of swirl it around, pat it in there, tap off some excess. I'm going to take a smaller brush, brush it over. I'm not doing any harsh contouring today, but I do want a little bit of bronzer on the edges of my nose. Some days I like to do a lot of contour, and then some days I'm just like, give me a little bit of color. Now I'm actually going to go in with a Real Techniques blush brush, and the blush I'm using today is the Milani Makes these little flower-like blushes. This is in the shade Blossomtime Rose. Now the thing with these, this one at least, you kind of have to really dig into it at first because it's got like this sort of film on top, and it might be just be that this one's really light, but there is color there. And I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks and then brush it back. I usually have a very light hand with blush. Sometimes you can't even see that I have it on. I have the Wet n Wild highlighter in Precious Petals. Now they have these, and they also have these big ones that are really nice too. This is in Boozy Brunch, and it's more of a golden tone, where this one's more of a rose gold. But these are so smooth. Now I'm gonna take my Morphe fan brush. This thing's huge. I love it. I love just being able to take it in there and just throw it on my face. I have a problem. I love the glow it gives. It's subtle, but like, you can build it up if you want. Brows are not my forte. I'm not gonna say I can't. I haven't yet been able to really get a nice precise brow. It's just not something I've practiced enough and got down. I have the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro pencil. Now this thing is super tiny. It has a spoolie on the end, and the end is very tiny. So for me this is really good because I feel like I have more control. And I go in and just lightly feather it. A little more rounded. I mean, I could make it so I have more of an angle, but I don't know. I like having very simple brows. I don't even fill them in to the point where they're completely like opaque. Now, I'm sure you've all heard it before, but your brows are supposed to be sisters, not twins. So if they don't look exactly the same, it's fine. Now, if your brows are anything like mine, they tend to move a lot, which is one reason why I have to trim them so they don't look as wild and crazy. I have the Maybelline Great Lash Mascara in clear. This is really good to use as a brow gel, and it's really not that expensive. It's like $5. Oh, and the Maybelline liner is like $8, but I love it. I think I look pretty good. These are all of my regular just lipsticks, and I think going with either a pink or like a nude would be really good today. Ooh, if you want to go with a liquid lipstick from the drugstore, try these Wet n Wild liquid catsuit ones. They're so good. This one is in Nudie Patootie. It's a little too cool tone on me. I kind of have to go put it on and then go over it like with something in the center just to kind of make it look more lifelike, or else I look dead. But I have a couple of colors of it. This is one of the Colorpop and Kathleen Lights liquid lipsticks. This is in the shade Alyssa. I feel like this is my lips but better color. The thing about Colorpop liquid lipsticks is that they're very drying, at least for me, but I don't really mind it. And I'm gonna go ahead and let my hair down. And that's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really want to do more makeup videos, and I plan on doing videos with makeup, hopefully some lifestyle videos, and maybe health and fitness, because that's one of my passions as well. And I also plan on doing like tipsy talks, if that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna come on and be tipsy and answer questions, or just blab on, or do makeup tutorials. Either way, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this and see me become not as nervous as we continue in this channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I keep saying If you'd like to follow me on social media, I will have all of that in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.